One afternoon, Donald took a supplies train to the works. Henry, who was awaiting final repairs on his tender, smiled warmly.
Hello, Donald. How is everything? Is Dudley getting along all right?
Aye, I suppose, but I can't say the same for Bear. Donald then went on to explain to Henry Bear's mishaps and Dudley's strange behavior. Aye, it doesn't add up. It's not like Bear to act in such a way. And of all, I'm awfully suspicious of that Dudley.
Henry then grew stern. You must tell the Fat Controller about this. I'm all too familiar with this type of foolishness.
Henry then recounted the events of Diesel's stint on the railway. You didn't say, Donald said.
Yes, he even tried to get me in trouble. We did catch him, but only after Duck got sent away. If Dudley's not stopped, Bear could be sent much further away. By the sounds of it, he's already got his coupling hooks in Gordon and James.
Donald was pensive. Leave it to me, he said, as he scurried off back to the sheds. When Donald returned, he found Bear all alone in his sheds, solemnly looking at his buffers.
Maybe the Fat Controller shouldn't have kept me, Bear sighed.
Rubbish! You're an outlier in a world of devilish diesels. I know you didn't have any ulterior motives, but our new pal, on the other hand.
You mean you don't believe Dudley?
Bear asked hopefully. Donald recounted his conversation with Henry, and Bear smiled widely.
And here I thought I was all muddled in the radiator. The question is, how do we prove he's behind all this?
Oh, I know just the way. Early one morning, Dudley was dozing in the sheds. Donald was shunting nearby when Bear came excitedly along.
I say, Donald, where did you put the coaches for the VIP train?
Near the station. They're ready and waiting for you, lad.
Oh, excellent, Bear said. I'd better be off. I must be spick and span for our special guests.
A special guest, eh? Dudley smirked. Bear was waiting in a nearby siding for his driver to return. He closed his eyes, pretending to be asleep. He heard the rumbling of trucks rolling past, accompanied by the deep, hoarse puffing of an engine. When the sound of the puffing died away, he opened one eye, and the trucks sat on the points blocking him in.
Worked like a charm,
he chuckled to himself. Meanwhile, Dudley skulked around the sidings at Knapford. Special coaches, where would they be?
Over here,
came a voice. Dudley perked up and puffed over to where he heard it. He swerved into a siding, and waiting for him was Toad the brake van.
Hello there, you must be Mr. Dudley.
You're not a special coach.
Well, I never claimed to be one, you see. Were you looking for some?
There is meant to be a VIP train, and I will be the one to pull it, snarled Dudley.
A VIP train? Now that does sound thrilling.
You? How did you get out of that siding? I did, Donald said as he drew alongside. The question is, how do you know he was trapped? Dudley struggled to find words. That is to say, An excellent question indeed, Donald, of which I am curious to hear the answer, Sir Topham Hatt said, as he stepped out of Toad. Well, Dudley, shall we have the truth this time? And just like that, the big engine's face dropped into a face of defeat.
Lost for words, are you? Well, I'm not.
I'm sorry. sir," Dudley said. Bear and Donald were confused. They weren't expecting the word sorry to come out of Dudley's mouth. "I was mostly responsible for making Bear look a fool, but I have reasons, sir," Dudley said meekly. "Go on," Sir Topham had insisted. "The island of Sodor is a sanctuary for steam engines, a place where they can all live scrap-free. No fear of when they will have to face the cutter's torch. On the mainland, however, none of us are afforded this luxury. When a new creation is made that is better in every way more than the old one is discarded and ridded of without a thought. That is the fate of most of us on the mainland. I remember all of my friends and family whom I've known over the course of many decades, and then be stripped away from me and taken to bite the cutter's torch. I knew that soon my time would come, and I knew that it was my duty to prove that steam would still be useful, even in a world full of diesels and modern technology. Even if those means were not ethical. When I came to the island of Sodor, I knew that this was my one chance to finally be free, to survive. I didn't wish to spoil Bear's image. He is a hard worker and a gallant engine, but I knew that I had to do anything I could to survive. I do understand that I've caused much trouble, and that this railway is better off without me on it. But if there is any way to show you that I'm truly capable of change, I'll show it to you, Sir Topham. I promise." Everyone was silent. The fat controller had a blank expression on his face. He didn't quite know what to think, until he spoke. "You've put me in quite a moral dilemma. On one hand, I was planning on sending you away, like I have many engines with similar attitudes before you. Engines who scheme and sabotage others are not welcome on my railway. However, I do have sympathy for engines such as yourself. Many engines, such as Oliver, Donald, and Douglas, all have escaped scrap just like you. And I do understand that no engine wants to bite the cutter's torch. That's a fate that no engine should face." There was another long pause from everyone, including the fat controller, until once again he spoke. "Despite all the trouble that you've caused, which I will not forget, you have proven yourself useful. You are a very strong and fast engine. The railway could benefit from having you on it. I have made a decision. I will give you one last chance, Dudley, to redeem yourself. But I, my employees, and all of my engines will have our eyes on you. If you do prove yourself a very useful engine and don't try anything else, you are welcome to stay on my railway." Dudley then smiled. "Oh, thank you, sir. I would much appreciate— But let me make myself clear. If you try one more sketchy move, I will send you back to the mainland with no hesitation. As I've stated before, schemers are not welcome on my railway. Understood?" "Understood, sir. Thank you," Dudley said cheerfully. But Bear and Donald, on the other hand, had very pensive looks and very big doubts about whether Dudley would change. Several days had passed by, and Henry was finally out of the works, fully repaired from his accident. And when he came back to the sheds, he certainly gave Gordon and James an earful. The two quickly forgave Bear for so easily taking Dudley's side on the whole matter, to which of course Bear kindly forgave them. After all, no one likes to hold grudges. As for Dudley, his story quickly made it around the whole island, and most of the Injuns were very apprehensive about trusting him. But to many of their surprise, Dudley truly redeemed himself. Dudley worked hard to make up for everything that he did. Even when he was completely covered in soot, he still worked hard, and his character changed as well. He was kind and full of joy, rather than being very prideful and reclusive. A day came where Dudley had to pull another train out of Knapford Station, to which surprisingly, Bear and Donald were there at the station, ready to take their passenger trains.
Hello there, Dudley. I see you're getting ready to take another goods train.
Indeed I am, Bear. It's going straight to Vicarstown. Have you checked that all the trucks are safe and not, out of commission?
Yes, Donald, I've made sure. It's good to see that you're such a hard worker, Dudley.
Thank you, Bear. And, I don't believe I apologized to you.
For what?
For sabotaging you. I apologize greatly for making you look a fool.
Don't worry, Dudley. That's all in the past. You're a changed engine, and that's all that matters. Right, Donald?
Couldn't have put it better myself, lad. Thank you, too. I'm truly blessed to work along such caring engines. Oh, that's my whistle. I have to go. I'll see you two at the sheds later.
Of course, Dudley.
But always remember something. On Sodor, you always have a place, and you'll never bite the cutter's torch. Every engine has a use here. And just like that, Dudley smiled, and he puffed off to Vicarstown, riding into the sunset. Glad to work on such a good railway with such great friends.